You guys have been asking me to analyze plays on this page, so let's go ahead and do it. The first play that I want to have a look at is Jalen Hurts' touchdown pass to Devontae Smith in last week's Super Bowl between the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. So on this play, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be running a GH counter play action with a flood concept. But what on earth does that mean? Let's break it down. So one thing that we know is that the Philadelphia Eagles are currently up 27-0 in the third quarter, and Patrick Mahomes has just thrown an incomplete fourth down pass, which is why the Philadelphia Eagles have got such good field position right now. If you are up 27-0 in the third quarter, then what you want to try and do is keep the ball, get that time of possession, and not let the other team get any momentum. The best way to keep the ball is to give it to your running back, because it is a lot slower for your running back to make yardage than it is for you to make yardage through the passing game. Let's go back to the play. So we have got a GH counter. Let's see what that means. So a GH counter means that your guard and your halfback are going to be pulling. Halfback is just another word for running back. So our right guard here is going to be the one that is going to be pulling on this play. And all the pull means is that instead of him blocking straight on, he's going to feign this block and he's going to pull to the other side and block here instead to basically give an extra man on the other side of the offensive line. The halfback counter or the running back counter will be Saquon Barkley, who will fake to go this way, but he will go up this way, basically putting the defensive line that way as well, and he will either catch, run, or block on this side. In this case, he's going to block. What Saquon Barkley could do if Jalen Hurts didn't have any options downfield is that he could fake the block here or make a feign block and then go underneath and give Jalen Hurts an underneath option to pass to. So now that we know what the GH counter means, let's look at play action. All play action means is that the quarterback is going to fake the ball to the running back. The reason why you fake the ball to the running back is because if the defensive line, the linebackers, the safeties, and even the cornerbacks, if they're in zone coverage, if they think that the running back is going to get the ball, then they're going to take a step forward, meaning that you now have leverage. Because if they take a step forward, they might miss a coverage or they might miss their man, meaning that you can throw a quick pass, or you've got now upside leverage on the other side of the field, so you can throw the ball over the top. That's what a play action is, faking the ball to the running back. So now, what the hell is a flood concept? A flood concept is basically when you're getting your receivers and tight ends to flood one side of the field, where they will run some type of straight route, but they will cut outside and then flood one side of the field there for the tight end. AJ Brown is going to run a longer route before he cuts in and then go to that side of the field as well. So as you can see, you're flooding one sideline of the field. This flood concept also has an additional post from Devontae Smith, who ends up catching the touchdown, and he is going to run a post, which is basically a go route, but then you cut inside and then you run towards the goalpost. Now, as for the tight end on the right side of the formation, he's going to block, and as we already know, Saquon Barkley is going to counter, but block on this side as well. Cool. We know what the Philadelphia Eagles are running on offense. Let's now take a look at what the Kansas City Chiefs are running on defense. So before this instance, this player here, who was our safety, he was actually up here. So pre-snap, if that safety is sitting next to another safety who's actually up here, let's pretend we've got another safety, he's slightly out of the shot, but we've got our other safety up here, that would show us a cover 2 look. Because what you want to do when you're reading the defense is you want to look at the safeties first. How many safeties are deep? And if we have got 2 safeties deep, that means that we are seeing a cover 2 look. Then you want to look at the cornerbacks. As you can see from here, both of these cornerbacks are incredibly focused on their wide receivers, and they are very close to the wide receivers, which shows us that they are in press coverage. Press coverage is another way of analyzing that you have got man coverage on the outside. And all man coverage means is that wherever those receivers go, the cornerbacks have to follow them. However, let's go back to this safety here, because as you can see, he is no longer deep in a cover 2. He is now what we call rolled down. And the reason why he is rolled down is because he can see that the Philadelphia Eagles have got 2 tight ends. 1, 2. And obviously, if you've got 2 tight ends on your formation, they are big guys. You are showing that you are going to run the ball, because not only do you have 5 offensive linemen, you've got 1 big guy on the left and 1 big guy on the right. By the way, just a quick one, the Eagles are lined up in 12 personnel because they've got 1 running back and 2 tight ends. If they had 1 running back and 3 tight ends, it'd be 13 personnel. Or if they had 2 running backs and 1 tight end, it would be 21 personnel. Get it? So this Eagles safety is seen that they are in a 2 tight end look, so he is rolled down because basically he wants to add another body to what we call the box. And although he's not in the box, he wants to sit right there in case Saquon Barkley is going to run it, which means that he could come down and add an extra body in that box, which will then give them 8 players, which will line them up very nicely against the offensive line. We know that originally the Kansas City Chiefs, let's delete that as well, we don't need that. We know that originally the Kansas City Chiefs were in cover 2, but now the safety is rolled down. We know that this is some variation of cover 1, because now there is no longer 2 safeties deep, there's only 1 safety deep. If we had this safety deep here and then we had both of these corners back here, instead of pressing the wide receivers, then we would have a cover 3, because the cover 3 basically means you've got 3 men deep in coverage. They're covering the backside of the field. So now that we know the Philadelphia Eagles are in 12 personnel, they are running a GH counter play action flood concept with a post, and we know that the Kansas City Chiefs are in some variation of a cover 1 press man coverage on the outside. Now, the reason that the Philadelphia Eagles won in this play is because Devontae Smith is a very good wide receiver. If you have got man coverage on the outside, you need your cornerback to stay with that wide receiver. He does not. Devontae Smith is able to breeze past him, and then he runs that post concept, meaning that he has now got this part of the field open. AJ Green is running the first half of this flood concept, which means that he is showing that he is going to run a go route. So this safety down here is going to expect to come across and try and cover his cornerback, who has now been burnt on that side. However, what AJ Green does is he cuts inside and he floods to this side of the field, which is going to absolutely stun this high safety right here. So what this safety is going to do here is he's going to pick up this tight end, but in some type of zone coverage, and that safety is going to be pulled across there. All 3 of these men in the middle are going to look quite silly because they are all anticipating a run from Saquon Barkley. So they're going to press their defensive line, realize that it is a play action. Remember what we said, you're trying to gain leverage on the defensive line, but also the linebackers, the slot cornerback, and the safeties. So now that Jalen Hurts has got leverage, he knows that once he fakes it to Saquon Barkley, all of these linebackers and the slot cornerback are going to come forward. And then as soon as they realize that it is not a run play, they're going to have to run backwards instead. And let's take a look at how this is going to unfold. So we'll start the play here. As you can see, Jalen Hurts snaps the ball. We can already see that this safety is already dropping, but look at all of these players here. They are going to try and rush the ball on Saquon Barkley. Then the ball is faked. As we can see now, Devontae Smith has beaten his man. AJ Green has slightly beat his man, but look down here. This safety is looking directly at AJ Green because he is trying to cover his cornerback. This safety has now been able to drop, but this safety is going to follow that tight end. Now that we've got the flood route initiated, this tight end is now seen to be open. So the Kansas City Chiefs safety is going to follow him across that side, which means that he can't see that Devontae Smith is now open because he expects his safety on this side to be covering the middle now, but he's not. Because this safety has been so occupied with AJ Green, and as soon as AJ Green cuts across, and this is where the rawness comes in. This is where it starts to seem like a bit of a cuss. This is where it gets offensive. Because this safety here is going to have to turn his body and follow AJ Green. But as soon as he turns his body, he is going to see a Devontae Smith wide open about to catch a touchdown. And this is what we mean with leverage. If you can have clever wide receiver routes, then you're going to completely throw off those defensive backs, meaning that they're going to try and pick up who they think is going to be open, but really you have got one man open that they never thought would happen. And now with this safety occupied on AJ Green, this safety occupied on the tight end, these guys, they are completely out of the game, and this quarterback has been absolutely burned. We now have all of this open space up here, and if we press play, we can see how that materializes into a touchdown. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. So that's the play broken down. GH counter play action with a flood and post concept. What do you think? Comment down below, let me know.